What's up, everyone? Mr. New2 Gamer back with another Call of Duty World War II gameplay commentary. And it's looking like World War II very well may be the last Call of Duty game that we'll ever see from Sledgehammer. Because I'm sure most of you know that Call of Duty 2020 wasn't supposed to be Treyarch's game. It was supposed to be from Sledgehammer, but for some reason, we still don't know why, Activision removed Sledgehammer from the development of COD 2020 and gave it to Treyarch. And I believe Raven Software is helping Treyarch out with the development of Black Ops Cold War. But Black Ops Cold War wasn't supposed to be a thing. It was supposed to be a game from Sledgehammer. I don't know what it would have been, if it would have been Advanced Warfare 2, or another World War II COD, or a modern COD. I mean, we have no way of knowing what Sledgehammer was working on, because now they're gone, and might not ever come back. I think they might be one of those supporting dev studios, like a Raven Software, where they're just helping developing the game. They're not actually making their own COD anymore. So kind of like the role they had with Modern Warfare 3, it was co-developed by Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer might be taking a back seat now to Infinity Ward and Treyarch, and they won't be allowed to develop their own CODs anymore. They're just going to be helping Treyarch and Infinity Ward develop their games. I believe they did a lot of work on Warzone after they were booted from making COD 2020. So it seems like Sledgehammer now is taking a supporting role rather than being one of the main COD developers. And me personally, I think that's a big mistake. I think that's not a good move from Activision, because not only does Infinity Ward and Treyarch have less time to make their own games, but Sledgehammer Games was a pretty damn good developer. Now, I know Advanced Warfare was an average game. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, so you know, Advanced Warfare we're not going to talk about, but COD World War II, it was actually a really good game. Now, it wasn't always that way. The first few months of World War II's life cycle was a fucking train wreck, and it really wasn't a great game. But I'll give Sledgehammer credit. They busted their ass to fix that game and make it really good, because 6 months after World War II came out, they had a huge update, and it pretty much fixed all the big problems that the game had. And it went to a point where World War II ended up becoming my favorite boots-on-the-ground COD since Black Ops 2. I would definitely rank World War II much higher than Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare 2019, which is the thing that really sucks, because the studio that made an amazing game that's better than any game that the other two developers have made in recent years, that development studio, of all the three studios you could take off the development cycle, you have to take away the best one, you know what I mean? Because Modern Warfare 2019 is the worst COD in history. I'm sorry, but it has to be. I say it all the time, but I have to keep saying it. Okay, Warzone is cool. The single player is cool. But if we're just talking about multiplayer, it's the worst multiplayer of all time. And when we're talking about Call of Duty, it's just an awful game. And Black Ops 4, it was an average game at best. I mean, the specialists were really annoying, and there were a lot of things I really didn't like about that game. But I wouldn't even go as far as to call Black Ops 4 a bad game. But it was nowhere near the level of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, even Black Ops 3. It was just, you could tell that Treyarch really had no new, fresh ideas to work with. They were just recycling shit from older CODs, and they just slapped it together. And Black Ops 4 was not great. It really wasn't even a good game. It was okay at best. But World War II is actually one of my favorite games in this entire generation of consoles. I think Black Ops 3 would be the other one. The other CODs that came in between, you know, from Call of Duty Ghost to Modern Warfare 2019, most of them were either average, like COD Ghost, Black Ops 4, Infinite Warfare, or they were just straight up trash, like Modern Warfare 2019. But Black Ops 3 and World War 2 were actually really good CODs. And I honestly have a really hard time figuring out which COD I think is better, Black Ops 3 or World War 2. They're both really good in their own way. But it seems like Sledgehammer is no longer in the development cycle for Call of Duty, which is bad for two reasons. One, because I think the Call of Duty series will be worse as a result, because Sledgehammer isn't making games, and I think Sledgehammer, of the three developers, have been the best recently. World War II is definitely a much better game than Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare. So the fact that the best game that we've had in the past 3 years, the studio that made it, they're the ones that are out of the development cycle when Modern Warfare 2019 was fucking garbage, when Black Ops 4 was not good. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. It kind of puzzles me that Activision made that decision to remove Sledgehammer of all developers. So that's one reason why this sucks, because Sledgehammer is actually a really good COD developer. But the other thing is, now Infinity Ward and Treyarch have 2 years to make a COD instead of 3 years. So, presumably, the next Call of Duty game after Cold War will be Modern Warfare 2. And it pains me to have to call it Modern Warfare 2 to be in the same name. To have the same name as one of the greatest Call of Duty games of all time. And you know Modern Warfare 2 is going to be trash, meaning Modern Warfare Reboot 2, whatever you want to call it. So, I'm not looking forward to that pile of shit. I already know it's shit, even without playing it, even without seeing any gameplay, because you think Infinity Ward's going to change all the bad shit from Modern Warfare? Do you honestly think that's going to happen? Like, no, it's going to suck ass. But let's say Infinity Ward wanted to make Modern Warfare 2 an amazing game and fix all the bad shit that we had in Modern Warfare 2019. Well, now they have less time to accomplish that, because instead of 3 years to develop the game like they had with Modern Warfare 2019, they only have 2, because we have to have a new COD every single year, and now that there are only 2 COD developers instead of 3, less time will be put into the development and polishing of these games. So the games are going to be worse. Either way, whether you like Sledgehammer or not, the games from Infinity Ward and Treyarch are going to be worse because they are going to have less time to develop them. I'm sure Sledgehammer is going to help them make the games because now they're kind of like in a supporting role like Raven, but it doesn't matter because Sledgehammer, they were their own studio making their own COD, and that gave Treyarch and Infinity Ward another year. So you can throw more people onto the development of Modern Warfare 2, 2021, whatever the fuck, and Black Ops Cold War, but it doesn't hide the fact that you have less time to make it, you're going to be on crunch, you're going to be on overtime, and you're going to be sloppy, you know, as opposed to having more time to work on the game. So for those 2 reasons, I'm really not happy about Sledgehammer being gone. But is it possible that they can ever make another COD? I sure as hell hope so, because I think it would be best for the Call of Duty series to go back to the 3-year development cycle. And not only that, but I think Sledgehammer deserves it. I think Sledgehammer deserves to be making Call of Duty games again on their own. And that way they can keep the Call of Duty series more fresh and unique and innovative when you have 3 different teams with their own vision of the Call of Duty series. So okay, have Infinity Ward do Modern Warfare for a while, have Sledgehammer make more games that take place in the past, so instead of World War II, they could do a Vietnam, even go to World War I possibly, or Korean War. You know, there's so many things that they could do. They can even go to the Iraq War or something like that. There's so many things that Sledgehammer can do that may not take place in modern times, but their previous conflicts that took place in the past that, you know, would also make the Call of Duty series fresh. But it's not a hyper-realistic military shooter like Modern Warfare is trying to be. Sledgehammer makes arcade versions of Boots on the Ground COD, and then Infinity Ward can make their tactical garbage. Okay, that's fine. And then Treyarch can actually make futuristic COD, because I think Black Ops 3 was the best futuristic COD we ever had. So Treyarch seems to know what they're doing when it comes to developing a futuristic Call of Duty experience. Even though the single player for Black Ops 3 was awful, the actual gameplay was really solid. So I think after Cold War, Treyarch can go back to the future and make another futuristic COD. Doesn't necessarily have to be Black Ops, because I think, you know, that's a big thing that people didn't like about Black Ops 3 was that it had no connection to the previous Black Ops games. So keep Black Ops in the Cold War or, you know, in a sort of modern setting, and then have Treyarch make their own new IP of a futuristic Call of Duty game that is kind of like Black Ops 3, but it's also its own thing. I think that would be really cool. And it would be a cool way of keeping the COD series fresh and different year after year, because a series like COD where you get a new game every year could get boring really quick. And us just going from Modern Warfare to Black Ops every year, swapping between those 2 series, I mean, it's going to get old really quick. It already kind of is. Sledgehammer is a really talented studio, and they deserve to make another Call of Duty game. It would be great for us because we'll get better Call of Duty games as a result. So I really do hope that it happens. I still don't understand why they were taken off in the first place, but I just hope that Activision brings them back, because just having them work on other people's Call of Duty games, it's a waste of their talent. They could do so much more than that. But that's all I got for today. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace.